Sling, bada, 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 sling. Oh, son of a...
Welcome to the Backlot 605 podcast. I am one of your hosts. I am Casey Kelderman.
I'm Brian Mensing.
And today, we're kicking it old school, Brian.
We are?
We are.
Why are we kicking it old school?
A couple reasons. It's just you and I tonight.
Oh, that kind of old school.
That old school, and you know what? We're bringing it back. We're bringing back the box office and the news. Last week, we had to take a break from both of those because we had to record a little early last week.
I thought you were just being an asshole and you didn't want to do it anymore.
No, I always wanted. Heck, we started off with the box office, the news, our main show, our main topic, and coming soon when we first started this.
You are correct.
Yes. So now coming soon is its own article. Check that out. But the box office, we made its own article. We thought, we might not have time to talk about it every episode, but by popular demand, we're going to bring it back.
Good.
Yes, because I like talking about it. I always like looking at these numbers. This is a good week to bring it back on because we actually have a lot to say on it. But with that being said, the box office article that we do every week will still be available every week on the website, so definitely check that out. Andy Erickson is doing an awesome job. He'll go a little bit more in depth into the actual numbers. We'll kind of be more commentary than actual like
we're gonna voice our opinion.
Yes,
no, we don't do that.
We never do that on a podcast.
No, never.
Yeah, so if this is your first time listening, thank you for listening.
Do it again.
Yes,
do it again.
Keep doing it and go back to those old episodes. Check them out. Maybe you recommend the Schmuck's Choice episodes. Those seem to be some of our fan favorite episodes. If we have fans, I don't know. We have friends who listen to this. That's it. People we know.
Well,
Yeah, So let's jump back into this. We're gonna kick it back Schmuck Club style, old school, just me and Brian. We got a shit ton of news to talk about.
We do.
We have a disappointing box office to talk about.
Maybe you're just disappointed.
I'm very disappointed. I'm more disappointed in our main topic this week, Brian.
Oh, come on. Why not?
Because it's toys made into movies for two reasons.
Because
there's hardly any good ones in that series, that subgenre of film.
Yes.
And the whole reason we're doing this is because the Playmobil movie was supposed to come out this weekend. It got jumped back to December.
Well, I guess you should have been keeping up on those.
I should have been keeping up on the Playmobil movie.
Right, exactly. No.
But here's the funny thing. It got pushed back to December because it didn't want to compete with Angry Birds 2.
So it's going to compete with Star Wars.
It's going to compete with not only Star Wars, but Frozen 2.
Yeah, it's dead.
Why?
That is literally...
I would take my chance against Angry Birds 2 more than Frozen 2.
That is literally the studio going, we're just going to put this out because we know we're going to lose.
That's what I don't get. There's absolutely nothing coming out this weekend. It would have made top 5, but now when it comes out in December, it's not going to break maybe top 10.
Yeah, it's going to be very lucky.
I don't know what they're doing. Playmobil, what are you doing? Why are you even making a movie? Who plays with Playmobil toys?
Well, then wasn't people talking about after they saw the trailer where it's the toys aren't even quite like the toys are even like made? Like they're not acting the same.
Oh, I didn't even watch the trailer, so I don't care. I never played with Playmobil. Legos all the way.
Legos? Of course.
Yeah, Lincoln Logs.
Oh, Lincoln Logs are my jam back.
They need to make a Lincoln Logs movie, but we'll come up with some ideas for toys that need to be made into movies.
There you go.
Let's just start off with this. We're going to go back to the box office. Number 1 this week, Angel Has Fallen, $21.3 million. The third film in the Fallen trilogy?
I guess that's what we're going to call it.
That's what we're going to call it.
It's the trilogy we didn't know we needed to have.
But did we need to have it is the question. The aging Gerard Butler, Morgan Freeman trilogy. That's what I'm going to call it.
Hey, you know
Gerard Butler is slowly getting fatter and Morgan Freeman's getting older.
Well, anything
as
with Morgan
life happens.
Anything with Morgan Freeman is going to be okay. It's everything else around it.
He will be okay. Everything else around it. Yeah, I didn't go see it, but the trailers did not sell me at all.
No.
I kind of want to see it for just crazy Nick Nolte.
Well, yeah,
I think that would be fun.
Why wouldn't you? I mean, there's two kinds of movies.
But I'm not going to rush out to the theater to see it.
There's two kinds of movies that you just be like, I need to see this for this certain person. That's Nick Nolte and Gary Busey.
For the crazy factor?
Yeah, exactly. And the scary part is those two are almost interchangeable these days.
With how crazy they are, you're not wrong, Brian. I'm surprised. Are you surprised at this number? Are you surprised with this?
Considering what it's going up against this week, no, actually, I'm not. It's enough of an action kind of, big explosions and the Man movie in comparison of what's coming out right now. Yeah.
I guess I'm not surprised. I'm just disappointed. I feel like a parent right now. I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed in everyone who went to watch a movie this weekend and they didn't watch Ready or Not. That's where I'm disappointed. because
that movie was amazing.
Who was excited for Angel Has Fallen, though?
Obviously, $21 million worth of people.
I guess. I don't know where this demographic came from. Is it just because there was literally nothing else? They're like, we saw Hobbs and Shaw. We took the kids to Lion King. What's out this weekend? Oh, I like Morgan Freeman. I like Gerard Butler. Let's go watch that action movie.
We're not going to go watch some foul-mouthed kids.
Yeah, we're not going to go watch some foul-mouthed kids or a lady kicking ass in a wedding dress, I guess. Those foul-mouthed kids, though, did pull in $11.6 million for Good Boys, pulling in that number 2 spot. 45% drop, not bad for a second week out.
But a slight increase in theaters, though.
Yeah, I just noticed that. That's, coming in number 1 last week, I think probably helped.
Sure, absolutely.
Let's drop some of those Lion King theaters and add Good Boys. Number 3.
There's a good trade-off.
Yeah, Lion King for
Good Boys.
Good Boys. Number 3, Overcomer, $8 million in only 1,700 theaters.
What the hell is Overcomer?
From the people who made Fireproof. And
okay.
Yes.
Yep, I'm on board now.
You're on board, or you know what I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about.
But are you on board?
No.
Okay, neither am I. This movie is not for us. These type of movies, these faith-based movies, have their demographic, especially in the area that we live in.
Correct.
In Sioux Falls, South Dakota, in the Midwest. This is the demographic for it. And $8 million is a really good opening weekend.
I would have to concur.
$5 million. It already made its budget back.
Right.
It's on the front page of IMDb when you pull up a movie. That's got to be worth
a couple clicks.
Something. Yes. I don't know.
No, you're correct. It's one of those things where it's there's a certain demographic for this, so you're not expecting to come in at a number 1 spot. You just know that. Plus, like you said, it's a $5 million budget. It's already made its money back, even at $8 million. They're going to continue to keep making more and whatnot. You and myself just happen to be those individuals that we're not the demographic they're aiming for.
No, and the demographic that they are aiming for does come out when these movies come out.
Correct.
You get one every couple months, these faith-based movies.
Mm-hmm.
And for this, I don't know what company this is, but almost every other year, they're coming out with a new product with the same team behind it, so there's a fan base behind it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Number 4, Fast and the Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw, $8 million, bringing its total domestic gross to $147 million in its 4th week out.
Yeah, it's starting to, what's the word I'm looking for? Oh, lose steam real fast.
Yeah.
It's starting to putter.
It's hitting the brakes.
It's starting to putter out.
Hitting the brakes,
yeah.
Number 5, The Lion King, $8 million, coming in just slightly below Hobbs and Shaw there in its 6th week out. Holy crap, this movie just keeps making money.
Well, yeah, it's the Disney train. Boop, boop.
And it is the highest grossing animated film now of all time.
How this is animated? I thought it was live action.
Those lions weren't actually talking? Yeah, it's just going to continue.
And if this weren't
especially this next week with nothing coming out,
right?
Lion King might stick around in that top 5.
And Playmobil would have been like, "Hey, we might have actually had a chance."
No.
And I will say, normally we cut off at top 5 because, usually, but no, we have to talk about number 6.
I say unfortunately because this movie should have been a lot higher at the box office. Number 6, Ready or Not, $8 million. A disappointing opening weekend for me.
Agreed. You and I actually had the opportunity to both go see this movie, and they got our $16 or whatever you want to call it between the two of us here. And no, this movie is absolutely fantastic. It's been rating very well amongst the critics. At least last I saw, it was like a 94, 95, 96 on Rotten Tomatoes. For being the type of movie that it is, it was absolutely fantastic, and I'm so glad I had the opportunity to see this movie.
Yeah, we got to go watch it. Opening night, Tuesday night. This movie opened on a Wednesday. Do you think that affected the box office at all? We'll jump into our thoughts here a little bit more, but do you think, first of all, did that affect the box office opening on a Wednesday?
No, I don't think so. I don't. If anything, it would have just gotten a slight jump on everything.
Yeah, I thought so. Maybe the buzz, the word of mouth would have came out for this upcoming weekend, but
yeah, maybe.
I think part of it is it's not based on a property that people know before.
Oh my god, an original
movie?
idea? Son of a bitch. And self-contained.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be setting up for sequels. It doesn't need to have this other intellectual property that it's based off of. It just tells a damn good story within that 90-minute runtime.
And this is the part where, as much I absolutely love this movie, and could you potentially spin it into a sequel? Maybe. But do I hope that this is a complete standalone and never sees a sequel, remake, or anything like that, and it just stands the test of time? I hope so.
I agree. I want to see all these people that are in this movie and behind the scenes on this movie succeed and do other things. This Radio Silence team, I want to see them make more movies. Samara Weaving is a freaking superstar after this. I thought so before, and this was your first time seeing her in anything, right?
Oh, yeah.
She's a star, isn't she?
You and I got done at the theater, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to go home watch The Babysitter finally. And that was great, too.
Yeah, she is a superstar, and this is I think, the movie that'll kind of catapult her into, A-list status.
Oh, no, that one just wrapped today.
Oh, yeah, that's what I mean. People are going to be like, now when she's in Bill and Ted Face the Music, they're going to be like, I know her, she's awesome.
Correct.
That's going to add to that movie. So, yeah, Ready or Not became, after leaving the theater, man, you said it for me. You're like, I have never seen you smile like that after getting out of a movie. And you're right.
It was just overall, I mean, even for the cast members who I had no idea who were fantastic. Annie McDowell did an amazing job as the mother. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, the father, I'm drawing a blank. The crazy aunt with the eyes owned her character immensely, was great. Adam Brody
was stellar.
He literally killed it.
Yeah.
No. I mean, just everybody was just on point. Everybody to the main cast, to the supporting cast, to the supporting cast. I'm talking about those poor maids.
Oh, the poor maids. If you've seen the movie, you know what we're talking about.
Yes.
Yeah. So if you haven't, go watch this movie.
Go make it another 8 million next week.
Yes, please make that happen. It's in my top 3 of the year so far.
Oh, it's definitely up there.
It's great. Go watch it, Ready or Not. And yeah, that's that song from that movie.
Which one?
The song they play on the record.
Oh yeah,
the hide and seek song. Oh, I love that. That's
no. I would tell you,
stuck in my head.
Once we decided that when we were going to go see this one, every time the words "Ready or Not" came up, freaking Fugees get stuck in my head. But that's completely something else.
All right, so that's the box office for the weekend. What did you guys check out this past weekend? Did you get to go watch Ready or Not? Did you watch Lion King for the 3rd time with your kids? Let us know. Let's jump to the news for the week. So we're going to kind of break this up. We're going to, of course, there's big D23 news. We're going to save that to last because we want to keep building anticipation. Are you going to snore for this one, Brian? I think you like this one. Matrix 4. It's happening.
I don't know what I think, honestly.
So with that, Lana Wachowski is returning to write and direct. Keanu Reeves and Carrie-Anne Moss are also returning. And you don't know what to think.
I don't, because, there's the people that have the likes and dislikes for Reloaded and Revolution, and the original Matrix in '99 could have easily been a self-contained movie. Didn't necessarily need a trilogy to come about it. And being for as long as it has been since we've had a Matrix movie, I question. What more do we have? Where do we go from here at this point? I am hoping that means that Lana has got a great idea behind her that is going to just catapult this to, who knows, maybe this gets us Matrix 4, 5, and 6. I don't know. I'm just hoping that they're doing this for the right reasons.
Yeah, I got to be honest. I have not seen the Matrix sequels, which I've heard that's okay. You don't have to. Because The Matrix alone is a great standalone original idea, groundbreaking. And if they want to do something in that vein with the fourth film, where they kind of just reinvent their own film or their own series and bring in this new technology that we now have now and invent something completely new and different, bringing back Keanu gives me a little bit more hope. That
the fact that we're bringing back Keanu, the fact that we're bringing back Carrie-Anne Moss, who's to say that we're not getting, Lawrence Fishburne or whomever else back for this, the more and more that they start talking about this and casting and whatnot, will hopefully give me higher hopes. Like I said, I'm just hoping, that we're doing this for all the right reasons. We don't have Lily coming back, so it's literally half of the collective that's making the movie. Is that going to make or break it? Is that going to make it better? Is that going to make it worse? There's too much gray area right now.
There is a lot of questions right now. I don't think at least the group of people that they have returning, I don't think they would come back unless this movie does have something to say. Unless they have a story in mind that they know will hit audiences and hopefully redeem, I guess, the sequels.
Maybe.
Take it back in that original direction and build a world in which that was setting up. So maybe, I don't know, they got something up their sleeve. That's what I'm thinking.
And I'm hoping so. If you've got Keanu on, because, it's not that Keanu hasn't made a few bad movies in his life. But, I know this one is one of those ones that he holds very much dear to himself and is going to go back if he feels it's right.
And I brought this up in our group chat. We're going to get, 3 of Keanu's most famous characters within, a 3 or 4 year span. We're going to get Neo, Bill and Ted, and John Wick 4.
Yes.
It's going to be the Keanu Sans in full force.
All I know is that when Bill and Ted finally hit the theaters, I'm gonna be so not used to him not having a beard.
He does look a little weird not having a beard. He better have a beard in Matrix 4. That's all I gotta say.
He's owned that beard so much since John Wick and various other roles. It's just like, you need to keep the beard, man.
All right, let's jump to the next piece of news. Bond 25 now has an official title
and date.
The date is April 8th, 2020. The title is No Time to Die.
No Time to Die.
What do you think of this title?
I think it's a James Bond title.
I was just going to say, this is a perfect Bond title.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like most of the Daniel Craig ones have steered away from typical Bond titles.
Yeah, I would have to agree. Singular titles.
Yeah.
Well, Spectre. But I mean...
Skyfall.
Yeah, Skyfall. But I mean, you still have Quantum of Solace and
Casino
Royale.
This is the most Bond title out of all those.
Yeah. And I will tell you, so I finally got through all of my rewatch of the MCU minus Far From Home because it's not available on home video. Because I wasn't going to go back to the theater to go watch it just to complete. But I'm like, okay. So I'm getting my movies up on the shelf after I got done moving and everything like that. I'm like, what do I need to watch? I have all 24 Bond movies. I have never watched every single one of them. I'm like, well, there goes on to the next big one. So
about the same trek as the MCU rewatch.
What's that? Well, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I've watched most of the Daniel Craig ones. Where I really got into Bond was during the Pierce Brosnan days during the 90s and whatnot. So, I'm like, hey, you know what? We're just going to start from the beginning. I literally have 5 minutes of Dr. No. And that part of it was all premised on, oh, hey, they were talking about Bond in the thing. Hey, I got Bond right there. Well, I guess let's just start there.
There you go.
Maybe I'll get
How far are you into the series right now?
About 5 minutes from ending Dr. No.
Oh, okay.
And Dr. No is the first one.
And it's boring.
Oh my God, is it boring?
Just get to the next couple after with Sean Connery.
The biggest qualm I had with Dr. No is I'm so used to intro, Bond theme, Bond song, whatever the case is, get into movie. And it's like Bond theme, weird song, like trippy shit, 3 Blind Mice. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So, yes, I know I have to get past that.
Wait till you get to From Russia with Love and Goldfinger. It gets better. It gets better.
Good.
Yeah, so that is Bond 25, No Time to Die. I dig the title. It's a Bond title.
Oh, it's definitely a Bond title.
I think it kind of sums up that maybe it might not be the end of Daniel Craig's Bond.
Oh, I think after he broke an ankle, I think he's done.
I think he's done, too. I'm ready. Fans are ready for him to be done.
Everybody's ready for Idris Elba.
Yeah, we're ready for him. Bring it on.
Come on, Idris.
All right, let's jump to the next big piece of casting news. We have almost the entire cast of the Mortal Kombat movie over the last 2 weeks since we didn't do the news on a previous episode.
I didn't even see some of these other ones.
Look at this cast. Brian, do you want to read it off since you are more of the Mortal Kombat fan than myself?
Well, I'm looking at some of these going, I have to look up some of these names because I don't know who some of these people are.
Okay. I'm more worried about the messing up the character names. That's why I'm giving it to you.
Oh, really? Oh, come on.
There's one in there I wouldn't know how to say.
Joe Talisman as Sub-Zero. Ludi Lin as Liu Kang. Makad Brooks as Jax. Tandad Bao, I don't even know how to pronounce that one. Tad and Abao Asano as Raiden.
Close enough.
Sissy Stringer as Melina. Jessica. Did you spell that right, or is that just...
I think that's
Jessica Wow. These are some I like some of these names. McNamee as Sonya Blade. Josh Lawson as Kano. Which one of these would you have fucked up?
Is it Melina?
Yeah, it's Melina.
Okay. Probably that one. Mostly because I don't know who that character is.
With a release date of March 5th of 2021. And I do know that Liu Kang is the guy from
Power Rangers. Ludi Lin.
Yeah, from Black Mirror, right? Or no? Or is that Sub-Zero?
I have no idea. He's in Black Mirror.
Was he in Black Mirror?
Yep.
So he was in the episode with Anthony Mackie then and Palm. He plays the digital avatar where the two
Striking Vipers. Is that the
yes,
episode? Okay.
yes. So yes, that's what I know him as from Black Mirror.
I know him as the Black Ranger.
You know him as the Black Ranger,
and he's great in that Power Rangers movie. That's a good casting, I think.
The gentleman that's playing Jax, I most know him from he played a version of Jimmy Olsen in the CW's Supergirl, but he was also Eggs in True Blood. So I picture somebody a little bit. I mean, bigger, yeah. Like I can picture him.
He could put on the muscle.
So what I look at this is I almost look at this as like the Mortal Kombat the beginnings, like a younger version of these characters, not the seasoned individuals that they would become. Oh yeah, and Sub-Zero's the guy from the Raid.
The Raid, The Night Comes for Us, yeah.
Yes,
So adding someone with martial arts background to a Mortal Kombat movie, what?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
What a fucking crazy idea.
What I get from this, I don't know a whole lot of this cast besides kind of Ludi Lin and a few of these faces I've seen, you know? Mm-hmm. It's more that we actually have casting.
Yes.
Like this movie's actually going to happen now.
I'm so excited for that.
It's just that one step closer every time they announce something new for this. And I think I think they're going in a much different direction than the original Mortal Kombat movie, which is good. I think give it a hard R, make it bloody, make it violent, focus on the martial arts. I think they know what they're doing this time around. Hopefully.
We hope so.
I mean, they have James Wan on producing. I think that at least adds a name, maybe adds some credibility to this. And I'm excited for it.
I am definitely hoping so.
The only thing that is a little weary.
What's that?
Is the director has never directed anything before.
Who's to say that's a bad thing?
I didn't say it was a bad thing. It makes me a little worried.
Does he have like anything on his filmography?
The only thing on his IMDb page for Simon McCoy is Mortal Kombat as a director.
Like nothing else.
Nothing else.
No writing, no producing, no
nothing.
He wasn't a stuntman turned director like like John Wick.
Nothing.
What the hell?
Yeah.
I don't know what to think of that. I'm slightly confused.
And then if you look at the writer of the film, he has nothing that has been made yet. This will be his first writing credit on the screen.
Untitled Resident Evil reboot.
And Death Note 2 for the writer Greg Russo. No relation to the Russos, I don't think.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
Yeah, so, I mean, if they're picking out these unsung talents that James or whoever found out there, I think it'll help. You know, I think having a relatively unknown cast is all right. You don't need a big movie star in there. Except when you get to Johnny Cage, I think you need to cast an actual movie star because that'd be hilarious. Tom Cruise, I'm looking at you.
No, don't do that. Don't ruin this for me.
Oh, wouldn't that be amazing, though?
Don't ruin this for me. James Van Rieck.
The Beak would be awesome, too. Okay, I'll take the Beak. So.
Either that or maybe Casper Van Dien.
No, the Beak. Always the Beak.
The Beak.
I like the Beak. So,
You know. Now that I say that out loud, and that was just literally the randomness off the top of my head. I think he could pull off the cynicism beautifully.
he has a sense of humor about him, like himself, and he's
very self-aware.
yeah. And have you seen that Power Rangers like bootleg movie?
Yes.
That he was in. Yeah, he's great in that. He's
that
dark.
thing is fantastic. Him and Katie Sackhoff owned that shit.
Yeah.
That's the Power Rangers movie I wanted to see.
Listen here, Warner Brothers, cast the Beak. We want the Beak as Johnny Cage.
We need the Beak.
We need to come up with a hashtag now.
He'll just be
Hashtag Beak for Cage. Beak for Cage. Make it happen, Twitter.
He'll be too busy doing Dancing with the Stars.
He can step away from that. All right, let's jump to the next piece of news. We get a first trailer and a release date for the Breaking Bad spin-off movie, El Camino.
I purposely put this in here because we brought this up when they first were even talking about Breaking Bad movies. So, we didn't have any knowledge of what was going on, if Aaron Paul was even going to come back. You probably did not watch this trailer, I'm assuming. I did. It brings back Skinny Pete, which, again, it means absolutely nothing to you. However, just the way that they did the trailer and bringing him to reprise his role, and just the way they basically started out that, whether he knows anything or not, he's in an interrogation room. He's like, whether I know anything or not, like, I'm actually going to tell you kind of stuff. Still, I'm not a snitch. And it's very, very on point to Breaking Bad, and I'm so looking forward to this. Netflix basically revived the Breaking Bad, and it definitely has its place on Netflix, and I'm super excited that we're going to get this. We're going to basically see where did Jesse go after the end of Breaking Bad.
Yeah, I've never watched Breaking Bad, so this would mean nothing to me watching the trailer. That's all right. But yeah, like you said, Netflix is the reason I think Breaking Bad became so popular as to what it is now.
Well,
because it was by the time season 2 or 3 it had hit Netflix, and people could finally binge it, and became the phenomenon that it is now.
And that that is where, and I assume this was probably before AMC had their AMC premiere, but Netflix is basically where AMC went to go throw stuff and to let it live on, because
that's where I binged Walking Dead for the first time.
Well, exactly. When you knew that season 3 of The Walking Dead was coming on, you knew a week before that season 2 was going to hit Netflix, so you could binge through all of that here. And that's actually what I did with Breaking Bad. It's 5 seasons. I came into Breaking Bad at the beginning of season 3, where I was like, oh, hey, I hear season 3 is coming out. Netflix has got season 1 and 2. Watch that. Son of a bitch, I'm going to record this shit. So I do highly recommend taking the time, honestly, Casey, to watch Breaking Bad.
I know. I've been told for the last 5 years since it's been off the air.
Yeah, pretty much, because this is going to be one of those movies where you're like, holy shit, I actually get an ending that I feel like I wasn't disappointed in.
What if you don't get an ending?
I already have an ending. I saw at the end of the show.
But this is the continuation.
No, this is the continuation of Jesse. Jesse. Of
Okay.
not
I get where you're going.
Of not Walt.
All right, let's jump to something more my steam this time.
Oh, I saw this and I freaking laughed my ass off. I'm in.
That is, Anthony Michael Hall has joined the cast of Halloween Kills as an adult version of Tommy Doyle. So for those of you who don't know, Tommy Doyle is the young boy who Jamie Lee Curtis, who she is babysitting in the first Halloween film, and he was previously played by Paul Rudd in Part 6.
How do we go from Paul Rudd to Anthony Michael Hall?
I would have brought back Paul Rudd.
He's too busy being an Ant-Man.
Nah, he can come and show. Tommy Doyle's not going to be a main character in this movie.
That's why you get Anthony Michael Hall.
I guess. So Anthony Michael Hall, the kid from every Brat Pack movie who played the nerd.
Hey,
Come on.
he was in the Nolan trilogy.
Was he in the entire trilogy?
No,
Or just Dark Knight?
he was just in the Dark Knight. I don't know if his character. I don't know if his. Well, anyway, but no, he's at least in the Dark Knight.
Yeah. And he plays the bully in Edward Scissorhands. You might know him from, Breakfast Club, Weird Science,
Basically,
The Favorite of Brian.
Basically, any John Hughes movie.
Pretty much. Brian, what do you think of this?
Oh, I'm a huge fan of Anthony Michael Hall, and I like I said, I saw you put this in the notes, and I'm just like, well, I enjoyed the first one. I'm probably gonna go see the second one. This gives me more reason to want to go see the second one.
Yeah, I think it's fun casting. He's not going to be a main character. He's not going to be in the movie, all that long. I think it'll be kind of pop in. Hey, look, it's Tommy Doyle, the kid I used to babysat.
I don't know.
And then he gets stabbed and dies.
You do something like that. I mean, yeah. I mean, there's a possibility of bringing in somebody recognizable just for the shock factor, and then be done with it. I picture there's going to be more to it than that. Call it maybe even the resurgence of Anthony Michael Hall. Bring him into the 21st century.
I wouldn't be mad if Tommy Doyle all of a sudden turned out to be the hero of Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends. I wouldn't be mad at that at all.
That's what I'm saying.
I think it'd be fun. Like if you jump into the old quote unquote canon of Halloween movies, he's technically the hero in Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers.
But that doesn't exist, remember?
It doesn't exist, I know. And he's the main character in a lot of other like comic book versions of the Halloween sequels and stories. So he's a big character in Halloween lore, I guess. But it would have been fun if they had Paul Rudd show up. That's just a fanboy thing.
That's just you.
Yeah. So Halloween Kills gets its Tommy Doyle with Anthony Michael Hall. October 6, 2020, or October 16, excuse me. 2020 is the release date for that.
Bitch, get my birthday right.
Is that your birthday? That's right. You mentioned that when we brought it up. Anyway, let's jump to a next piece of news. Suicide Squad has added a couple of James Gunn favorites.
I was wondering if you were going to notice that.
Yes. Obviously, one, Nathan Fillion in an undisclosed role, and Steve Agee. Yeah, he was in one of the Guardians?
He was in Guardians? He was in Guardians too.
Okay. He will be playing King Shark.
Do you remember the goofy looking dude that almost had like the Coke bottle glasses look things like embedded in his eyes?
Okay.
That's Steve Agee.
One of the Ravagers?
One of the Ravagers.
Okay, gotcha. He will be playing King Shark, and King Shark is a favorite of mine. So I'm glad. I think James Gunn kind of he's kind of picking and choosing what Suicide Squad members he wants, and King Shark's a fan favorite within that group, and I'm excited to see him on the big screen.
Well, and the part I find kind of amusing about the Nathan Fillion thing is that people have been talking about him trying to get Nathan Fillion a legit actual role in the MCU since he did the first Guardians and whatnot, and even to the point where like playing Adam Warlock and playing this person, da 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 da, and it's where it's like, people want me to get Nathan Fillion in a goddamn movie. Well, if I can't get him in the goddamn MCU the way I want to, I'm bringing him into the Suicide Squad.
They haven't said what he's doing. He could just end up being a CGI a motion capture character again.
Shut it.
He could. I think it'd be funny.
No.
I think James Gunn and Nathan Fillion have a sense of humor that they would find it funny themselves.
No, I picture him going more of like the cocky, like, not necessarily like the military, not like the Rick Flag type, but more like the Amanda Waller type.
I wish they would have replaced him as Rick Flag.
I know you have a hate relationship, and not even love-hate relationship. You have a hate relationship.
It's mostly a
hate relationship for Joel Kinnaman.
I do. He's terrible in pretty much anything he's in, especially Suicide Squad. So if they would have recast him, that would have been A-okay with me.
Sure.
Yeah. So the Suicide Squad will be coming out August 6, 2021. And as we said, Nathan Fillion doesn't have a disclosed role yet. And Steve Agee has been cast as King Shark. Cool.
Yes.
As long as we get Killer Croc on this team, too. I think that'd be fun, like, just to have a CGI battle, King Shark versus Killer Croc.
Yeah, probably not.
That'd be fun, though. That'd be fun. Let's jump to the big news for the week, though, Brian. With a little company called Disney.
I think I've heard of them.
You've heard of them?
I heard they've got a vault where they like to lock things up.
They do, at least for a little while, not much longer. In November, it will be opening up forever. Well, Disney will own all our souls then.
There might be a couple things latched in the basement that they're not going to let go.
Yeah, they're locked up right next to Walt Disney's head.
Walt Disney's head in Song of the South.
That's all that's in the vault. Let's talk about it. D23 was this past week, so there's a bunch of news. We'll kind of break it up into Disney proper, Star Wars, Marvel.
We probably don't even have everything on here.
No, we don't. There's a lot of TV stuff. We're not going to talk about the High School Musical series or Lizzie McGuire, even though, hell yes, Lizzie McGuire's coming back.
I was like, why not talk about Lizzie McGuire? You're over here like fangirling over it.
As long as they bring back Even Stevens at some point, that's all that matters. And Mighty Ducks, like I said.
Wouldn't that mean, isn't Even Stevens Shia?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yes, it is. All right. Anyway, let's jump to the actual news, the actual stuff that will be coming to Disney Plus and Disney in general. We get the first look at the Emma Stone-led Cruella.
Cruella.
What did you think of this first look at Cruella during 1970s punk rock era Great Britain? Great Britain.
I actually kind of dig the look that they're giving Emma Stone with this here. I mean, it's very, Cruella-ish. They're trying to keep it more to, they're not going way outside the wheelhouse here.
No, I like the look. I think what excited me more was that the time period in which they're going to set this.
Right.
I'm like, okay, then you need to put some punk rock music in there, and that'd be awesome. Except, she kills dogs and wants their skin. She's the main character. Maybe they'll change that a little.
It's a Disney movie. It'll still be friendly.
It's a revised history and origin of Cruella, like Maleficent. They can change that up.
Yes. They're gonna make her, a good person, and then the next one will be like, figure out how we're gonna make
Psych, she's not.
We're gonna make Ursula a good person.
Then next we're going to make Scar a good person. They're going to do it all.
Right, exactly. After they get done remaking all of these movies from animated into live action, they're going to be like, now we're just going to turn all our villains into heroes and all heroes into villains. Somehow we're going to get an evil Aladdin.
He kind of is. He steals stuff. He's a jerk.
He's a thief. He's an Arab thief.
He's a street rat.
Okay, so
Cruella. So, I don't know. It's a cool first look.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not going to go watch the movie in the theater.
Oh, you say that now.
I'll watch it on Disney Plus. I think that's more fitting for it. But that will hit theaters May 28th, 2021. We also get the first official trailer for the live action / CGI crossbreed of Lady and the Tramp.
Is that what we'll call these now?
Yes.
The crossbreeds?
Yes, because it's funny because it's dog related.
I know, I gotcha. I got what you're putting
Did you watch this trailer?
No, I did not.
It's fine.
I did see the movie. I mean, I saw the movie poster,
the bad movie poster,
and then I did see this slightly modified Boss Logic one where in the corner where it says Tony's Restaurant, all of a sudden Robert Downey Jr. is poking out the door, and then the moon is the head of Mysterio.
Tony's.
Welcome to Tony's.
That would be a fun cameo if he brought the plate of spaghetti out for
That's
them.
what I'm saying.
That'd be fun. It's a fine trailer. It gives you some of the iconic shots from the original animated film. It ends with, of course, them eating the spaghetti together, and yeah.
Oh, what do you know? It's Lady and the Tramp.
It's Lady and the Tramp.
Okay.
But with live action elements. That'll be one of the first things that will hit that first day that Disney Plus arrives on November 12th this year. So
yes.
That'll be available right away on Disney Plus.
Oh, yeah, by the way, Disney Plus, November 12th.
November 12th. We'll be talking about that a couple times because this is another thing that will be hitting that first day. This is the first part of our Star Wars news. We get the first trailer for The Mandalorian.
And I did see the trailer, and it looks absolutely amazing. There's one piece of the news that kind of made me sad.
What's that?
They're not going Netflix style. They're going DC style.
That they're dropping one episode every week?
Yes.
They don't want to have you use your free trial all on just binging The Mandalorian, Brian. They want that money from you.
They've got my money.
Yeah, I agree. I kind of like that because then it at least spaces it out where I don't have to sit and watch an 8-hour long movie all in a row.
I mean, I suppose.
I just got to take out an hour chunk every week.
I mean, you're not wrong there. I mean, like, for example, I still need to finish the last couple episodes of The Boys. But, at the same time, too, I recorded Nosferatu that was on AMC. And I literally have 10 episodes that I haven't gotten around to watching. So at this point now, they're all recorded, so I can pretty much binge through all of them. But, I don't know. I'm on the fence about the whole drop them all or episodically kind of thing, just because of, some people just don't have the time to wait, and just, if we have time to go through 4 episodes, awesome. We have time to go through 4 episodes. If we don't,
Yeah, I don't know. For me, I like it because it breaks it up a little. There's going to be so much stuff to watch on this now.
Yeah.
It's going to be too much to handle at once. So, but as far as the trailer goes, I love this trailer. I think this is what Star Wars should look like. It looks like it's set in the dark and grimy underworld of Star Wars, which I've been waiting for. It's set after the events of Return of the Jedi. The only thing that not really has me worried, but slightly confused, is why this isn't just Boba Fett, because it's the exact same character, down to he's a Mandalorian bounty hunter during this time period.
Because maybe there's other stuff in the works for Boba Fett.
That's what I'm wondering, and I'm gonna bet all the money in the world Boba Fett shows up in this series. Well, at least by the end, by the last episode, he'll be in it.
Well, they've already confirmed that there's multiple known bounty hunters that are going to be showing up in this, including Bosk and IG-88.
IG-88. So you get to see him in action in this too.
So it's not to say that at some point here some sort of path is going to cross with Boba Fett, but I also appreciate the fact that they are going with something in the Star Wars universe without having to rely on the cash grab. Yeah, we could make it about Boba Fett. Everybody's going to love Boba Fett. So, do something different.
Yeah, I agree with that, but I kind of wish they would have done a different character, like not a Mandalorian, just like Boba Fett. Just change it up just slightly. But I'm still going to watch this, of course, the first day out. And yeah, the trailer looks great. Kind of looking at it, it's going to be, I hope, it's going to be a lot of where they don't really go too much into this guy's backstory, who this Mandalorian is. He's kind of be the faceless, nameless hero bounty hunter. And I think that'd be a cool direction to take it.
I guess we'll see in November.
We will see. One thing that has me super excited is this piece of casting news.
I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding.
Yeah, you better be kidding.
I'm totally kidding.
That is, Ewan McGregor is returning as Obi-Wan Kenobi in a Disney Plus series.
God, I bet his uncle's like, I told you not to do it.
His Uncle Wedge?
Yes, Uncle Wedge.
Yes. We need a Wedge series. Make it happen, Disney Plus. Make it happen.
Wedge would never come back.
He would come back. We'll make it happen.
Wedge is like the only one that survived, right?
Yeah.
Okay, just checking.
Yeah. So anyway, this Obi-Wan series, if they would have announced this and said, hey, this is all that's going to come on Disney Plus, I would be like, all right, here's my money.
Here's my $6.
Take it. I've been waiting for this forever. I've been waiting for them to either announce a new movie with Obi-Wan or a series like this, and finally we get it.
I think this is where they're going to, instead of learning from Solo, I think this is where the spin-offs are going to go, is Disney Plus's series.
And I think that's where they should go.
Yes.
Leave the Skywalker stories on the big screen. Do these smaller stories.
So then only one more Skywalker and then we're done.
What?
We're literally the Rise of Skywalker is the last of the Skywalker saga.
Yeah, they're not done. That's all a marketing
You
ploy.
don't need 9. You don't need more than 9 as I say this about my Fast and Furious movies.
Yeah. They will make more. It'll be the last one for a while because they'll do the prequel trilogy. I'm guessing the Old Republic stuff, and I'm fine with it. If you're going to do like the trilogy type of stories on the big screen, do that, but do these side character stories on the Disney Plus. Yep, makes sense. And yeah, Obi-Wan series, everyone's been clamoring for it, and finally we're going to get it.
Maybe we need to get I was gonna say I probably have to look as if he's even still alive. Is Alec Guinness still alive?
No.
Okay.
No.
No, we'll just get a hologram version of him.
No, we got Obi-Wan. We got Ewan McGregor.
No. For like a flash forward or something.
Oh, he
has a premonition of himself.
he's almost the damn age of Alex Guinness at this point. And then the last piece of Star Wars news we get is the new poster for The Rise of Skywalker, as well as a little teaser featurette. Let's start off with the poster. What did you think of this poster?
It was okay.
It was okay? I liked it.
Liked
it a lot.
As for the teaser, once I realized it was like 2 minutes long and only like 10 seconds of actual something that's for The Rise of the Skywalker.
Like a minute.
I didn't even finish it. I mean, I will go see this movie because...
So you haven't seen the last frame from the trailer, the whole reason to watch it.
Oh, the part where they're like up and they're fighting each other kind of thing? But no, I haven't.
Okay. Well, that's the most important part, and you should watch it.
So
because
I'm guessing...
I'll start with the Rise of Skywalker poster with Rey and Kylo Ren fighting and the Emperor's face behind it. I love it. It's different for Star Wars. It's kind of an old throwback to the Return of the Jedi poster. I hope this is the actual theatrical poster they're going to use. Doubt it, but...
Probably not.
But as far as the teaser goes, it shows a lot of footage from all the other films in the Skywalker saga. We do get about a minute of new footage. There's some really cool shots of all the First Order ships coming out of the darkness, and then the Rebel... what are they called now? Not the Rebels.
Oh.
Fuck.
I don't even remember.
I'm failing.
But this
as a Star Wars fan.
Yeah, you jerk. But this is also the part where it's like, no, I haven't seen it. I'm still gonna go see it. I enjoy my Star Wars movies, and for the sake of everything, unless I happen to be in a movie where they're showing me the trailer in front of it, like they've been doing for like the last 6 months for the teaser they've had, I don't need to see it.
Okay, I'm gonna spoil what happens in the end. I think I already told you about it.
The Emperor's gonna show up?
No. The last shot and the money shot that they probably should have just put in the poster or in the next trailer or whatever they want to do is Rey with a double-wielded lightsaber.
Oh, yeah.
That's red. Yes. Hell yes. We've been waiting for this since the damn trilogy started. Make it happen. Make it not an actual just vision. Make it actually happen in the movie and make it make sense. Like that's... Please, just Disney, just do something different. Don't play it safe. Don't ruin it like Last Jedi. Even though I liked Last Jedi for the most part.
I did too.
But it's not great.
You and I have different perspectives of that movie, and we've already talked about that.
Yes. You can check out our Star Wars episode where we did talk about those. So Rise of Skywalker does come out December 20th, 2019. I'll be there opening day again.
Yes,
of course, because Star Wars.
Because Star Wars.
Let's jump to the Marvel news. Let's kick it off with a couple new series that they've mentioned that they will be doing here as part of Phase 4. One of those is She-Hulk. Another is Moon Knight. And the last is Miss Marvel.
Correct.
What do you think of these properties?
They're the type of properties where I expect that the Disney Plus is a good place for them. They're not ones that I don't think would draw a lot of traffic to the theater. Maybe.
Neither would a Guardians of the Galaxy.
And
then you slap the Marvel name on it.
And then Ant-Man. Yeah. Paul Rudd, you have my money. I don't know. Anything. I mean, I'm a Marvel nerd when it comes to the MCU, and the fact that we're going to get more of the MCU on Disney Plus outside of what they've already announced, and if we wrap this stuff into it, even better. There has been one fan casting that, again, I enjoy following Boss Logic and his art that he makes, and he fan casted for She-Hulk, and the actress that he fan casted said, "I'll start working out immediately," was Rosario Dawson. I think for the look of She-Hulk, I think she's got the spot-on look for it. Just paint her green, kind of like with Zoe Saldana with Gamora. Just paint her the right color, and she's just the right stature, the right look, everything. I think it would work perfect, and I would be okay with that since we already put the nail in the coffin with Mahershala Ali on Blade, and the Netflix series aren't canon. Might as well just keep plucking out of the pool.
I hate that though. That whatever the Netflix series aren't canon, but then remake Daredevil for this, please. Anyway, besides that, I like this casting or not casting, but the series announcements. Mm-hmm. It makes sense to be having these characters on Disney Plus.
Right.
I mean, like as much as we say they wouldn't draw, I don't think they would. They'd probably stick around those Ant-Man numbers.
Right.
And I think Disney's like, no, we want the Black Panther numbers. We want the Captain Marvel numbers. So I think that's a good place for these to stick around.
But who's to say, though, too, is we don't use Disney Plus as the catapult, and it puts them into the MCU on the big screen.
Yeah, they've said that half of Phase 4 is going to be this Disney Plus stuff, and you're going to have to watch it to understand what's going on, and I think that's a smart move by Disney and Marvel to do that. Of course, you're going to get all these people that now, like, well, I have to subscribe to Disney Plus because otherwise I'm not going to know what's going on in the next Avengers movie.
Maybe.
Whatever it may be. Mm-hmm. Let's continue with these Disney Plus series. Kat Dennings and Randall Park will reprise their roles from Thor and Thor the Dark World and Ant-Man and the Wasp for WandaVision.
Yeah, the Randall Park one I can understand in that he plays a cop. You know, FBI, whatever the hell he plays FBI. It's the Kat Dennings thing that I don't get. Like, how are we going from Thor to... Well, she was in both Thors, by the way. Not just the Dark World.
I said both Thors.
No. But anyway, to go from the Thor universe and that she was an intern for a scientist into WandaVision. So, I don't know. But I know you and I had a conversation about this here the other day. Actually, not too long ago before this even came up about Kat Dennings. I'm in.
She's not the best part of those movies, but she's the worst part. She definitely is the worst part. I will say that. I don't understand her sense of humor in those, and it really takes me out of it. But
I enjoy her. I absolutely enjoy her dry humor.
But looking at what the tone is that they've announced at D23, it's going to be more of a like sitcom, like a 1960s, 70s sitcom with Wanda and Vision. I think it makes more sense to have these two actors in this series now.
Well, if anybody's going to be able to own the small screen, it's these two.
Yeah, I think that makes more sense to me now, knowing the direction that this is going.
I don't know how I like that, though.
Have you seen the poster that they revealed for WandaVision?
No.
It looks straight up like it's Leave It to Beaver with Wanda and Vision.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
No. God damn it, Disney, no.
I take it, Brian, you do not like that direction.
I don't at all.
I have mixed feelings because if you do Scarlet Witch and Vision correctly, they can be the most powerful and most interesting characters in the entire Marvel universe. And I hope it goes kind of in that direction, but also I guess maybe not Elseworld, but like I don't know. I don't know what to think. It makes me more excited to see it, knowing that after seeing that poster and kind of knowing the direction that they're going now, makes it a little less obvious in terms of the actual Marvel Cinematic Universe.
There better be a point to this. It's all I can say. This legit pisses me off.
The poster?
Just the idea of a sitcom.
Well, it's not going to be an actual sitcom with a live audience.
Well, no, not necessarily the live audience aspect of it, but I mean, even like a multi-camera live action, or not but I mean, sitcom.
Yeah.
No.
There is going to be a point to it. Remember, Vision's not in Endgame.
I understand that because he's by all means dead.
Yeah, so that's why I'm like, I kind of think this is just going to be all like Scarlet Witch's magic, and she's trying to make an ideal life for herself after the events of Infinity War and Endgame and bringing back Vision, and I think it'll be interesting.
I don't know.
It gives me a little more hope seeing that poster.
I don't know.
Doesn't it look like surreal, like elseworldly?
It looks bad. I don't like it.
I like how we've completely flipped the switch on who is excited for this series and who isn't.
This fucking
now.
pisses me off.
Brian does not want a How I Met Your Mother version of Wanda and Vision.
No.
Let's go to something else that might piss you off, Brian.
What the fuck is this? God damn it.
That is what Marvel fans were saying all week after this piece of news. Sony and Marvel have not come to a new terms or a new deal on Spider-Man.
Yeah, that makes me mad.
So that means Spider-Man will be out of the MCU and Marvel proper for right now. This could change by the time the next Spider-Man film comes out, but in terms of what is going on right now as we record this, the deal is done. Spider-Man is technically out of the MCU. Sony has said that Tom Holland will remain their Spider-Man in future sequels that they will do, and he will just not appear in the Avengers films or be mentioned, I guess, again in the MCU. Brian, how do you feel?
I don't like this at all.
You don't like it at all.
But, yeah, and I know you've got a different thought about it because you did not like the Far From Home, blah, 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 blah. You're in the minority.
Very much, I know.
But, you know, one of the things, and I brought this up online, and it's like, you know, when Spider-Man was sold to Sony, Marvel did not have their own studio. And it's like, you know, what I think should just happen, because obviously Marvel knows what they're doing with their own properties and have the right direction of what they're doing, is Sony and all respective studios for that matter, just give them the rights back to the respected, you know, back to Marvel. You know, Warner Brothers does DC stuff because that's a whole different kind of bag kind of thing. But just let Marvel make Marvel movies. You're not going to have, as I say after the fucking WandaVision bullshit, is like, you're not going to see like fucking Marvel Studios come out with a rom-com story like, you know, About Time or something like that. You know, it's not going to be, they're not going to do romantic comedies. They're going to make a fucking superhero movie. Let Marvel just have Spider-Man. Let Sony make other movies.
I think, yeah.
It's all about the money. And
it is.
That's the part that makes me mad. Just let the superhero studio make the superhero movies.
I do have different opinions on it, but not terribly different, because I do want Spider-Man to remain in the MCU. Mm-hmm. I think, like, I've been waiting for that since I was a kid. Mm-hmm. Like, Spider-Man to interact with, you know, the rest of the Avengers, with Captain America and Hulk, and I've been waiting for Spider-Man and Daredevil to team up since Tobey Maguire and Ben Affleck. Like, I wanted that to happen when I was a kid, and not understanding how studios and money and stuff like that works, but Sony is not going to let Spider-Man go anytime soon. I'm looking at their highest grossing movies of all time.
And Spider-Man is in the top pretty much.
Five Spider-Man movies are in their top 6.
Yeah.
So that's their property. They need that. I think what they're doing on Sony's end is like, hey, we have Venom, which is also a very high grossing movie. We're working on a sequel. We want to continue with all these other quote unquote Marvel properties that we have as part of the Spider-Man universe. We need Spider-Man in it. And I think that's the direction they want to go. Marvel is going to definitely feel a little bit different on their end. As far as money goes on the deal, I'm kind of shocked as to, well, first, the first deal that they had, which was Sony financed the entire movie. Marvel would get 5% of the profits out of it, just for getting the Marvel Cinematic Universe name attached to it. For letting them use Spider-Man in the Avengers and Civil War movie. And this new deal would be that Sony and Marvel / Disney would co-finance the movie 50-50. That also means profits would be 50-50. And Disney would get all the merchandising rights.
I think they have the merchandising rights now.
I think so. I think you're right on that, which is a crazy deal for Sony to do. Yeah. Spider-Man, you make a lot of money on that merchandising. But I understand where Sony's coming from on this new deal that Marvel has proposed. I mean, you're going to make $1 billion and you lose 5% of that? Okay. If you're going to make $1 billion and lose half of that, that's a lot of money.
Well, yes, but that's where I also make the, you know, it's like, where does where does the character belong? That sort of thing. At the same time, too, they could make $1 billion. It could also be an absolute flop, too.
They haven't had one. That Spider-Man movie hasn't been a flop, though. Amazing Spider-Man 2.
But who's to say...
grossed like $1 billion itself.
Who's to say, theoretically and hypothetically, that that they did have a flop, and then they would be at least off the hook for at least half of the cost. I'm just throwing that out there.
Yeah,
to be the devil's advocate.
I understand that, but I'm looking at it from the money side. I'm like, I understand where Sony's coming from.
Sure.
Looking at it from the character side, hell yes, I want Spider-Man to be with the rest of the Avengers and do his thing there. But if this is where they want to go, I'm like, just make us a good Spider-Man movie.
That's all I ask.
That's it. Like, if you want to incorporate him with Venom and Morbius and whatever the hell else you want to do, just do it right. Just make Spider-Man right. That's all that matters. And what I wish they would do, and hopefully maybe they do, is take some ideas from Into the Spider-Verse and kind of do that with Tom Holland's Spider-Man. I think the way to kind of retcon what's been going on within the MCU is kind of have him go into an Elseworld where they don't know who he is now, because they left with that huge stinger at the end of Far From Home. Now, what are you going to do with that?
Right.
And I think the way to do it is multiverse, set it up that way. I've heard from multiple people, they're like, all right, just bring Toby and Andrew back and we're going to get all 3 Spider-Man in a movie.
Right.
And I'm like, yes, okay, make it happen. Do it.
It's this whole thing with Disney and Sony. I'm like, son of a bitch. And I was looking forward to J.K. Simmons being canon's JJJ in the MCU.
See, and then you bring in the multiverse and it's going to make more sense that J. Jonah Jameson is the same person in all of them.
God damn it.
Make it happen, Sony. Just make a good Spider-Man movie. That's all that matters. So we'll keep you updated on this if this actually changes or anything new comes out of this. That's why there was no Spider-Man stuff at Comic-Con or D23. That all makes sense now.
On the contrary, I saw it online. Buddy of mine at work showed it to me. I have not been able to find it since then. But somebody must not have got the memo, because one of the D3 banners hanging up at D3 had Spider-Man in it.
Oh, he had yeah. But like Avengers Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But even still, it shouldn't have had it at all.
They still have, technically, they would have the rights to that Spider-Man from that one movie, yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, no one told Jeff Goldblum either. Poor Jeff Goldblum.
And I will fully support getting Disney Plus for the World According to Jeff Goldblum show that they're doing.
That's how we'll end this news off. The World According to Jeff Goldblum. We will all be watching that.
Oh my God!
Yes.
You made the comment about maybe Jeff Goldblum is going a little crazy and whatnot. No. You know what I think Jeff Goldblum is doing? He has become self-aware of the character he has become in life, sort of like how you've seen this transformation of Robert Downey Jr. since he became Iron Man, and I think he's legit doing the exact same thing. He knows he's like, I know I'm weird, I know I'm quirky, I'm gonna own this shit, and this show is the fucking like fruition of just looking at this going, God damn, I need to see this.
Goldblum at his most Goldblum. My God. Yes.
Oh no, that's the Grandmaster.
All right, let's move on to the main topic for the week. Oh boy.
We'll keep it short and sweet because we've been running long.
Oh boy. No, I don't care because we're good on time, but oh boy, these properties. So, yeah.
Yeah, you picked a few interesting ones.
This is all that we have, Brian, to work with here. That topic is toys made into movies. So we're going to be talking about properties that were toys first, then made into movies, not vice versa. Not movies about toys. No Child's Play, no Toy Story in this.
God damn it.
I know. Better movies. Where the hell do we want to start with this, Brian?
Start at the top.
We'll start with Battleship.
Stop. You sunk my battleship.
No one says that in the movie, and that's a disappointment.
That is actually kind of a disappointment.
It's a great line that they should have had at least 3 times in the movie, and they failed.
Right?
They failed in general. This movie's god-awful.
You don't like this movie?
No.
What about this movie don't you like?
I watched it on TV once. It's a popcorn Michael Bay movie that's not directed by Michael Bay.
You are correct.
Yes, and there's only one good Michael Bay movie, and it's not Battleship or any of the movies we're going to be talking about here. It's The Rock.
The Rock. Armageddon.
No.
No?
No.
Jackass. The one thing I will give Battleship, though, is if it has been a little while since you've seen this movie, you may or may not remember him, but there is a military vet in the movie that's got 2 fake legs. Do you remember him?
No.
Big black dude.
I remember nothing about this movie.
Big black dude, whatnot. But no, he was a legit. The legs on him were in fact real. Those were his prosthetic legs because he was a legit war veteran that came on to, so kind of a little bit of a, hey, if we're going to make our little ish war movie out of Battleship and whatnot, let's at least get legitimate, veterans on it, which I do certainly appreciate.
For some reason, I just remember this. They're fighting aliens in this.
They are very much fine.
What were they thinking?
Especially when their sonar goes out, so they use this weird sonar thing or whatever, and so that they can figure out how they can shoot the missiles into the air and hit people, blindly, I don't know, like it's a game called Battleship.
Yeah, but this movie shouldn't have been made. That's all I gotta say. This is, I don't know how you'd make a good Battleship movie either.
Not blow up Alexander Skarsgård.
Well, you can do that.
No.
You should have blown up. Does Rihanna survive? I don't remember.
Yes, she survives.
Unfortunately.
I think she survives.
All right. Any other final thoughts on Battleship? I don't, because it's bad.
It wasn't that bad.
It was bad.
It wasn't great.
Let's talk about a much better game made into a movie.
Yes.
Clue.
I love this movie.
So do I. This is one of the few good toys made into movies.
Board games. I have loved this movie since I was a kid.
I have loved this movie since before you were alive.
Yeah.
I legit wish that there would be a movie that would come out nowadays that did what this movie did in the 80s. And that, granted, it would be very hard to do it nowadays because of the internet, but as you're probably familiar with the 3 different endings that you see sequentially at the end of the movie. In the theater, when it first rolled out into theaters way back in the day, you could go to a movie, I could go to the same movie and not have the same ending. Until people were talking about them or until it came out on a home video, nobody knew that there was 3 different endings until you were talking about going, that's not the ending I saw. Well, that's not the ending I saw. Why can we not have more of that?
I was just going to say, that's a lot easier now to do. Because you're sending these files to the theaters. You're not sending actual film reels like you did then. And it would only make sense for movies, and the internet would freaking explode.
Right.
If you did that now, yeah.
Think if you did like a horror movie where like the Nancys win the movie at the end, or the Freddy Krueger wins in the end, or the stoner kid.
Hell, even the movie like we saw earlier this year, Escape Room.
Yeah.
So only one person gets out of it. It's a different person in different ones that you watch.
Oh my god, that would have been amazing.
Yeah.
Have like different scenes set up a different way. So I mean, you could even legit be a completely different movie.
Besides the ending, I think this cast is phenomenal.
Oh yeah.
Tim Curry is top notch in this, as always. But I think that's the strongest thing about it is the casting, the chemistry, and the comedy.
Oh, definitely.
All together.
And one of the things, and I didn't know about this, you remember the Sound City I was telling you about that Kayla watched?
I've watched it now.
Oh, you're good.
It's a great documentary.
It's a great documentary. I go to figure out Mr. Body in Clue is the lead singer of the punk band Fear.
Weird little catch there, Brian, but I know you like your random trivia.
I do love my random trivia.
Clue, like if you haven't watched it, go watch it. Like right now, that's going to be the highest recommendation I'm going to have on this list.
Agreed.
Is for Clue. Like it makes me want to go. I haven't watched it in probably 2 or 3 years at least, and I'm like, God, I need to go watch it again.
You do need to go watch it.
I need a Tim Curry fix. Let's move on to
Legend.
Hey, that is probably the last Tim Curry movie I actually watched. It was Legend. Yeah. Let's jump to the next little one here. Ouija. So we're sticking with more board game movies.
This one's all you, my friend.
The first Ouija is it's terrible. It's a terrible movie. It is one of the worst horror movies in the last decade. It is one of the worst toys made into movies. If you're wondering why it counts as a toy, it's because the Ouija board game official is from Hasbro, so they own, I guess, the official title of Ouija.
Yeah, I find this amazing. You have to be 18 to vote, and you need to be 18 to die for your country, and 21 to drink, but you need to be 8 to summon demons.
Yes, America. Yeah, the first Ouija movie is terrible.
But good enough to get a sequel.
Good enough to get a much better sequel prequel.
Sequel prequel?
Yes, because it does take place before the original film, does tie into the first film. I've seen Ouija 2, Origin of Evil, more than I've seen the original Ouija, because I don't ever want to watch that again.
Isn't the sequel somebody that's actually a decent director, too?
Yes, a little guy named Mike Flanagan.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that little director.
Yeah, that guy.
He's not good at anything. It's a lie. He's good at everything. He makes no bad movies.
What did we just go see?
He's going to be directing Dr. Sleep.
Oh, that's okay.
Yes. But Ouija Origin of Evil is a much better horror film. If you're going to watch any of those, just watch Ouija Origin of Evil. Flanagan builds great characters, suspense, scares, actually knows how to tell a compelling and good story. And I can't. Any of his films, I will give a glowing recommendation to, because I think he is one of the best working directors out there right now. And I think this movie is no exception. Ouija Origin of Evil gets a recommendation from me. Brian, have you ever watched either one of these?
Nope.
I would highly recommend Origin of Evil.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the first one's bad.
They're the kind of movies where I'm just I never played the game, quote unquote.
You never summoned demons.
I never tried to summon the demons, and it didn't look like anything that was of any interest to me.
Yeah, I understand that. And you're not the as much of a horror fan as myself, but I would highly recommend this one.
Okay.
What do we got next, Brian? This is
G.I. Joe.
This one's gonna be you, all you.
And I can totally tell you, I have seen both these movies in the theater.
Oh boy.
I will even tell you, I own both these movies.
Why, Brian?
Because why not? Because especially with the second G.I. Joe movie, I get freaking Bruce Willis as G.I. Joe himself. I get, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Yeah.
Just overall, they're not great movies by all means, but I did thoroughly enjoy the cast of both movies, and they are exactly what they are meant to be. They are popcorn movies. When you're a kid and you're playing with your G.I. Joes and you're making up this really weird story as you're literally fighting your action figures and whatnot, as bad as these movies are, that's what I picture is going through an 8-year-old's brain while he's playing with his G.I. Joes. So if you're somebody who's like Joseph Gordon-Levitt, where you're like, I get to be in a G.I. Joe movie and become Cobra Commander, sign me the fuck up. That sort of thing. He's since gone to make much better movies.
He made better movies before then too.
But again, that's also one of those things where it's like, well, if I'm gonna make G.I. Joe and you're gonna cast me as freaking Cobra Commander, or who becomes Cobra Commander, hell yeah. Has Eccleston, all that, I mean, just overall, it was a time when you're like, how can we use the star power that is Channing Tatum, and yeah, so I mean, again, not great movies, but I think both of them have really good, decent casts. It's all in the writing.
Yeah.
It's not in the direction, because it's your cookie cutter action film.
It's a Stephen Sommers movie.
Yeah, it's a cookie cutter action film. The cast is there. It's just the writing. I think it's just the story and the writing.
Yeah, they got the movie stars. I think if you give Channing Tatum a, I guess, third chance now at this, with him being the actor that he is now compared to 2009.
You can't. His character's dead.
Well,
Duke's dead.
It's G.I. Joe. You can bring him back. It's not like it's an actual. We can bring back Channing Tatum. I've watched The Rise of Cobra. I think I watched 10 minutes of whatever the sequel is. I couldn't care less. I didn't grow up on G.I. Joe either. That's probably part of it.
That's probably part of it.
Yeah, and
you didn't watch the cartoons.
I didn't. Yeah, I didn't watch the cartoons. I had some of the action figures, but yeah, it was never a big thing in my childhood. So I never gravitated towards the brand of G.I. Joe.
The brand.
But yeah, I haven't heard great things about them. Besides that, the second one's kind of better.
Well, and it's that whole like
it's The Rock is franchise Viagra.
Yeah, exactly, the franchise Viagra.
Yeah. Should we move on to the next piece of 80s toys made into movies?
Which one is worse, G.I. Joe or Transformers?
Transformers.
So you're saying you'd rather watch a G.I. Joe movie than Transformers?
No, I'd rather watch a good Transformers movie than a G.I. Joe movie.
What if they remade them both, and they were both better than the predecessors?
I'd rather watch a Transformers movie, yeah. Which being said, I haven't watched arguably the best one with Bumblebee yet.
Bumblebee's amazing. The only one I haven't watched, and I just haven't sit down to watch it, is The Last Night, which is deemed the worst one. Poor Anthony Hopkins had to go and join the ship at the wrong time. But no, Bumblebee.
No, I'd help pay his for another house for him, I'm sure.
Bumblebee is amazing. Bumblebee, and they have gone on record to basically say that is the equivalent of them rebooting the series, which I'm completely okay with. And hopefully they'll drive it in a much better direction.
Drive it.
Bumblebee was great. The casting was good. Haley Steinfeld was amazing for her action. John Cena actually owned it very well in that movie. You know, I was hoping for something that wasn't a military man. But, you know, that's what we got out of John Cena. But, no, I like how these things, like, up until we got to Bumblebee, they were just, like, progressively just getting worse and worse and worse and worse and worse and worse.
Yeah, they're terrible. Even people are like, oh, the first Transformers isn't that bad. No, it's bad.
No.
It's really bad.
It's good.
I think all of them are bad. It's got like a 50-something. Like, that's not good.
No, it's better than like the 14 or 15 that The Last Night has.
Oh, that's just... all of them have declining ratings on Rotten Tomatoes. But, yeah, like you, I haven't watched Last Night, and then I haven't watched Bumblebee.
Bumblebee do.
Yeah, I that is one that I'm like, okay, I will have to watch that one and see what everybody's talking about. Heard nothing but good things about it. But when it comes to the actual Transformers series that we got, it's not great. It's not great at all.
Oh, no. We go from I'm looking here. We have a little bit of a weird dip. We have a 58%, go to 19, up to 35, back to 18, down to 15, up to 93.
Yeah, honestly, out of the original, like, is it 5 Transformers movies?
Yes.
I think I like the third one the best. Just because it's mostly just action and they kind of cut the human bullshit out.
So that one's got the third best rating.
Yeah.
If you include Bumblebee.
Yeah. But then after that, it's god awful. Age of Extinction, is that the fourth one? Yeah.
Yes.
Is terrible. It's the only one I've seen in the theaters, and it is one of the only movies where I got physically ill watching it. Because I'm like, this is just sensory overload. I literally got so bored watching it, I just started counting Michael Bay explosions because I was that bored in the theater. I'm like, I care about nothing Mark Wahlberg is doing. I don't care about these Transformers. Let's just count the explosions, I guess.
You know, I will give this, though. It's that, you know, they are that. They are Michael Bay movies. They're the great big explosions. They're the kind of thing, you know, where, you know, maybe in the hands of a different director, maybe they could have gone a different way. I don't know where you really could have gone with these, to be honest.
Apparently, you go Bumblebee, I guess.
Touche, salesman. I retract my previous statement. Never mind.
No,
We'll go with Travis Knight instead.
Yeah. I think there is much better ways you can go. Maybe give the Transformers characters. That's just a thought.
They had some character.
Who?
I don't know. Bumblebee.
Optimus Prime. That's it. Kind of Bumblebee in the movie, but I'm like, just make I've never understood that with a lot of Hollywood movies where they're like, it's not an actual like human character. It's like, what's the term I'm thinking of? Inanimate objects are the main characters. They're like, okay, well, we need to add humans to it to make it more relatable. It's like, no, just make the inanimate object a character and make them relatable.
Yeah,
I don't need to relate to some character in a movie because they're human.
But yeah, the one thing to work off that, though, is that's one thing that Transformers has always been, even since the original cartoon, is there's been that human element. So you can't exactly take the human element away.
No, I wouldn't get rid of it, all of it, but I would shy it away. Get it? Shy away. I would focus less.
Don't make me spit out my water, son of a bitch.
I would focus less on the human characters, the bad female characters that Michael Bay obviously does not know how to write or direct. And I would focus more on the Transformers. And I think from hearing from people talking about Bumblebee, that's kind of the direction they mostly go.
They need to go. And who's said Michael Bay was the problem with the female characters? Maybe that was just all Megan Fox.
No, because you get the same thing in the other ones after the...
Oh, with Rose?
Rose, and then Mark Wahlberg's daughter, who's underage, and he shoots her like she's a Playboy model. I'm like, you're gross. Let's move... Should we move on from Transformers?
Yes.
I'm excited to see that they're moving in a new direction, get rid of Michael Bay. Lego Movie. Probably my favorite out of these.
I really need to watch the Lego Movie, too.
So do I. Doesn't sound like a lot of people did. I don't know what it is that turned everybody away, because I think that first Lego Movie is one of the best animated movies the last 20 years. For sure the best non-Pixar Disney one in a very long time. Mm-hmm. And I can't say enough about that movie. We talked about it last week briefly with the Phil Lord, Chris Miller Schmuck's Choice that they lost, unfortunately. But I think they are great directors. They have a perfect sensibility and sense of humor, and they understand all the characters that they had included in this, including great, Star Wars cameos, TC character cameos, everything in it, and it was great. And I think the overall story that they told and how it actually relates to Legos that we grew up on is a perfect storyline to introduce kids to.
Oh yeah, you can't tell me that the Lego Movie didn't increase their sales of the City brand that they have. To kind of sort of make a movie where we're using some of these properties that we have. Well, they use a lot of their properties that whatnot, but it'd be like, we're gonna make our main character not one of those properties. We're going to make it one of our own. And you can't tell me they haven't been like, well, I need to buy a bunch of city stuff for my kid because now he sees Emmett over here and over here and over there.
Yeah, I have heard. I've been in the toy aisle where kids are like, "Look, Mom, I need Emmett. And he's just a regular Lego."
Yeah, exactly.
And I think the overall story of that and about how Legos are meant to just build your imagination instead of constricting it to the directions and the way it's supposed to be and doing something completely different. That's obviously how we get movies like the Lego Movie.
Right.
Like some of the other stuff Phil Lord and Chris Miller are working on. That's how you get great and original ideas, and I think that's a good message to have. Mm-hmm. Which of those other Lego movies have you watched? Have you seen, Ninjago?
I have not seen Ninjago. I have Lego Batman. I still need to watch Lego Batman.
You've never watched Lego Batman?
No.
And
I'm especially when it comes to the Lego games. For the longest time, you probably could have looked at my collection of my online activity and thought I had kids years ago, because it was either Rockstar Games or Rocksteady, between that and the Batman Arkham games, and Lego Harry Potter, Lego Batman, and Lego Indiana Jones, and Lego Pirates of the Caribbean. I fucking played the shit out of those games.
And those are fun games, and I think the Lego Movie plays on those things that are kind of the same tone that the Lego games have, is very much the tone of this Batman movie. It's about Batman realizing it's almost a meta version of Batman, where he realizes he was once Adam West Batman and Christian Bale Batman and all the other ones in between, and it's a fun movie. I think the runtime and the story they kind of try to tell with him and the Joker kind of lowers my rewatchability or thoughts on the film just a little bit, but then I think them using the characters that they can out of this is perfect. There's a sequence at the end where Joker has to team up with other Warner Brothers owned villains, and it's great. And yes, you should watch it for that alone. And then I think the concluding storyline with Joker and Batman completely understands those two characters together and what makes those two work. So yeah, I highly recommend Lego Movie and Lego Batman.
Because
I've watched
Lego.
I watched like 10 minutes of Ninjago. I don't know what Ninjago is, so it wasn't for me. What do we got next there, Brian, after the Lego Movie?
After the Lego Movie, we get into a little musical number with Anna Kendrick and Justin Timberlake.
My boy, JT.
JT. Bring on the Trolls.
Yeah, I've never seen this movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so...
I don't have kids either.
This is true.
Yes.
I do. I will tell you that I have not watched it from beginning to end. But from when my kids were watching the shit out of it...
I've heard the song a million times.
Overall, it's not like it would be something where I'd be like, God, I can't believe my kids are watching that again. It was fun. It plays to the crowd you're expecting it to go to. I mean, my kids are 5. They were watching. They were like 4. So it's right up their kind of alley. So the fact that they were even watching it, I'm like, oh, hey, cool. It's not Power Rangers. That's too young. I don't know. Just overall, I think it might have been too many years too late. In that, Trolls were around before I was even a kid. And, I mean, yeah, nowadays, I mean,
it's introduced a whole new bunch of kids to Trolls, though. I think it added something completely different to what we think of as
you're
the troll characters now.
Which is you're correct, and at the same time too, they modified on how they looked and whatnot. So I mean, I remember when I saw the first trailer and pictures and posters of Trolls, I was like, that's not what a troll looks like.
They look less creepy though.
Yeah, they definitely made them kid friendly.
Yes. I don't know. I've heard decent things about it. It's just nothing I've ever seeked out to watch.
Yeah, go for it.
What about?
It wouldn't be one where I would say, "Don't do it." Do it.
It's a movie where I wouldn't hate myself after watching it.
You say that now. You done. Fuck. What was I thinking?
It is Justin Timberlake though, and I love my boy JT.
And Anna Kendrick.
And Anna Kendrick is great and everything.
Got Run Funches in it. You have no idea who that is.
No. Anyway, should we move on to the next favorite of yours?
Fuck that. Mine's coming up.
Have you seen this?
But
Gem and the Holograms?
No, and I will tell you why. Number one, speaking of toys made into movies, you have got one director doing 2 of these movies on here.
Who's that?
The guy who did G.I. Joe is the one that did Gem and the Holograms. I'm almost positive.
Like the original G.I. Joe? Steven Sommers?
No.
I think you're wrong. I'll look.
Am I wrong?
Anyway, go ahead and talk about Gem and Holograms.
No, okay, so as being familiar, it's like John Cho.
Yeah.
What is he attached to? There's something that...
Yeah, he did the second G.I. Joe.
Okay, so I was like, I knew there was a G.I. Joe that was involved. No. As someone who has actually legit seen the cartoon for Gem and the Holograms, this was nothing like it. This was literally like, we used the name, that was it. And it made a bad movie on top of it. Like, people want to give shit about the G.I. Joe movie. Well, let's go down from here, John.
Is it a lot like the Hannah Montana stuff? Is that kind of what...
I don't know. I didn't watch it on purpose.
Oh, what?
This
movie?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, what was the original cartoon about?
Basically, like, high schoolers with magic and, people. They were like it was, kind of like, Josie and the Pussycats, where it was like a all-female band kind of thing, and they have these powers, and they can, fight evil and stuff like that.
So not about the teen angst and them trying to make a band, and one of them becomes more famous than the others, and then they fight and break up, and...
No.
Nothing like that? So nothing like what the actual movie's about?
Right.
Oh, Hollywood. We love you. Yeah, I don't have any interest in watching this. It has... I remember when this movie came out, it was like pulled from theaters like the second weekend it was out. Yeah.
It tanked harder than Battleship.
But
Good
one. Let's speak of another tanking movie. Garbage Pail Kids.
Hate this movie all you want.
I've never watched it.
You need... Okay. For the fact that you enjoy your really bad movies, movies so bad that they're good, you need to watch the Garbage Pail Kids.
It did come up very often when I was doing research for that episode.
Mm-hmm. I wish I would have thought about it because I probably would have put it on there.
Oh
because,
my God, they're terrifying though.
Well, that's just it. Because of how they try to do a really good job of making
the trading cards.
To make these things look like the trading cards. As one who was a kid when these trading cards were a first run thing. It's just god awful, but it's so much fun and stupid all at the same time. I recommend anybody sitting down to watch this bad movie.
Yeah, I used to have a few of the trading cards. You get them, put your 50 cents in the machine, and you get a Garbage Pail Kid card out. And I had a few of those, but I'm looking at the pictures right now as we're recording, and oh my God, this is terrifying. But you recommend it on a bad movie level.
Oh, absolutely.
I think that's worthy enough for me to watch it.
Yes. You definitely need to sit down. You're probably going to be like, what the fuck were you thinking? But again,
I'll have a few drinks with it and watch some Garbage Pail Kids.
You and I come from different times.
Yeah. Let's bring that up one more time because this is the last one we're going to talk about. That is Masters of the Universe.
Yes.
So now, brief history. Are you a fan of the animated series?
I watched that shit like it was, I was a kid in a candy store when I was, younger. My mom would actually have to tell me, hey, you got to come inside. It's time for your shows, because I would watch that. I got to forget what the other one was. But, I watched that shit religiously. The part that is funny, though, is many years later, they had reruns on Cartoon Network or something like that and whatnot. And me and some friends of mine that were sitting there going, oh, hey, He-Man's on. Let's see, it's been a while since we watched. Wow, the dialogue is horrible. It's bad. It is really bad. You can definitely tell this movie, that show was made in the 80s.
Yeah.
You can tell that this movie was made in the 80s. And this movie is, again, one of those, it's bad, it's great movies.
We have different opinions on that.
Hey, again, I grew up on, I had all of the toys and everything like that. There was the part about they went a different approach with the Masters of the Universe, which is what I think was the nail in the coffin. They didn't go the way they should have. But I mean, in terms of some of the casting and everything like that, considering when this movie was made, you weren't going to find anybody other than Dolph Lundgren to play He-Man. Nobody, you're not going to find the blonde guy with the physique in the 80s that wasn't Dolph Lundgren.
That was everyone in the 80s in California, though.
No, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Long blonde hair, buff body. You could have found a dime a dozen in L.A. back then.
I don't think so.
For me, Master of the I'm obviously a lot younger than you, and I didn't grow up on the animated series at all. But at my grandparents' house, they had, at my grandparents' house, they only had girls' toys because that was all they had was girls. But there was 2 action figures. It was He-Man and Skeletor. So those would be the 2 characters that I would play with every time I show up there. I had no idea who they were. I'm like, just boy action figures. Let's have them fight. Obviously, the one with the skull is the bad guy. And the other guy's the good guy. So
that's one thing I did. I found amusing about the toys is that you
obviously know who's the good guy and the bad guy.
Exactly. Yeah. And for someone who had a lot of them, you could just tell. And the part I always found was funny is that you almost respectively, if you had a good guy, you could find his equally equivalent bad guy counterpart. Almost every time. It's not until they really start expanding and get into, because they got to a point where I don't even remember what they were called, but there was also a third faction that wasn't the Gray Skull, the He-Man side. It wasn't the Skeletor side. But I had all those toys and his play set thing, whatever too. But it's just funny, here's He-Man, and here's with his cat. Here's Skeletor with his cat. He-Man's is green. His is purple. You just knew who was the good guy and who was the bad guy.
Yeah, and then within the last year or two, me and my fiance have binged the original He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. It's not great.
No, it's not.
It's a fun, like, Saturday morning cartoon, though.
That's exactly what it was.
It's fun. And after watching it, I'm like, I can see how you can make this into a big-budget, live-action, sci-fi, fantasy epic. Mm-hmm. And that is not the Dolph Lundgren movie. I just literally finished watching it as Brian walked in before we started recording. This movie is terrible.
It's not great.
No, it is not. It honestly does not feel like they understand what He-Man is at all. They're just like, we have this property. What can we do with it? We'll set it in. Where can we shoot? We have enough money to build like 2 sets, and then we can shoot the rest in LA. We'll bring He-Man to Los Angeles. And that is obviously not the way He-Man is in the cartoons. He does not go to Los Angeles at any point during that time.
What?
And watching this makes me understand why we need a proper reboot to this series and a proper live-action film. Make it that sci-fi epic. Make it Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, Star Trek even, but do not bring He-Man to Los Angeles. Don't bring him to Earth. None of that. And Dolph Lundgren, he's fine. He delivers a very bad line delivery of "I have the power."
I have the power.
It's a really bad line delivery. He does it twice too, and it's almost cringy. The makeup on Skeletor is horrendous. It almost looks like he probably just is wearing just a fake rubber mask, and when they do close-ups on his nose, it's like you can see the lines of fabric within the nose, like it's that bad. And I made a comment during the opening credits. I'm like, this is a canon movie. Do they need to rip off, Superman in all their movies? Or because it's basically just the same John Williams score with the same titles flying into the screen, just like the original Superman movie. And I'm like,
that was the 80s, though.
Yeah, but do you need to rip everything off? You already had one of the most, well-known properties during that time. And yeah, it just makes me want to have a actual proper Masters of the Universe movie, which we are going to get at some point. Brian, I remember we talked about that at one point, and I'm going to look up this kid's name again that's playing He-Man. That is Noah Centineo. He's starred in a couple Netflix movies. He was playing He-Man, and we're going to get that. It looks like they do have March 5th, 2021.
Well, we'll see how that goes.
Let's hope it stays there. I don't know. Until we get any more casting news and actually see, maybe an image of him as He-Man, it leaves me a little worried. So, Brian, any other final thoughts on Masters of the Universe?
Watch it. Again and again and again and again and again and again.
I'm on the opposite end. Don't watch it.
Watch it just because it's a bad movie so bad it's good.
I would watch it. If you're
how about the part when they make it to LA and he's eating the chicken wings and the girl gets all grossed out?
That was a failed attempt at humor and I don't understand it. So Brian, do you have any other final thoughts on toys that have been turned into movies? What are some some toy properties that should be made into movies?
Jenga.
Yeah,
let's make Jenga
into a thriller.
I don't know. Something's got to collapse.
Yep, it's a thriller.
Risk
would be a fun one to do. Yeah, I could see it.
I'm literally, as you said that, I was like, I've got all these board games that I got from Target.
I have one that I think it should have been made in the 80s.
What's that?
Candyland. A dark fantasy Jim Henson type creations within Candyland.
Oh, that would be fucking disturbing.
Yes. It's already, I always thought the characters in that were disturbing.
Can we get a movie based on Yahtzee?
I don't know what you would do with it, but yes, sure.
They made a fucking movie out of the Ouija board, goddammit.
Yeah. I don't know what you'd make out of Yahtzee, a horror movie. And at the end, they pull out the shotgun. Yahtzee. Poof.
See, there you go. You're already there.
There is some in development right now. There's going to be a Barbie movie. I don't remember who is supposed to be in that. Do you recall?
With the Barbie movie?
Yeah, Amy Schumer was attached at one point.
No. There's only one person on that IMDb credit right now.
Is it Margot Robbie?
It is Margot Robbie. That's what I thought. Yes.
Yeah. So they're obviously going in a different direction than they were with the Amy Schumer casting.
So the other day, I actually brought that up the other day at work, and I'm talking to my buddy Tyler. He's like, "Why would you make a movie on Barbie?" And I clicked on the link. I might have to go see a Barbie movie.
So I'm surprised it's taken this long to get a Barbie movie.
Well, a live action you're talking about?
Oh yeah, they've had
I was like
numerous animated garbage.
I was like, that shit's on the shelf.
Yeah, that's why we didn't talk about any of those. Yeah, I think that Barbie makes sense, and I think I think we talked about it before that Funko is working on a movie too.
Yes,
which I think makes sense.
Because why wouldn't you?
Exactly, with all the properties that they probably could get a hold of. Yeah,
it'd be like their version of probably like the Lego movie. If you can do it, why not?
Yep.
Cash in before you become the Beanie Baby of this century.
Yes. Make a Beanie Baby movie too.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
The old school ones or the new school ones with the great big ass freaking glittery eyeballs?
Both. The Warring Beanie Babies. Dun dun dun.
Dun dun dun. Make it like a W2 war pick.
Yes.
With Beanie Babies.
With Beanie Babies. Yeah, so that was toys made into movies. We're kind of just rambling about different toys we want. We want to know, what do you think? What is your favorite toy property that has been made into a movie, or what's a toy that you used to play with that you think should be made into a movie? Let us know.
Let us know.
Lincoln Logs, make it happen. Daniel Day-Lewis reprising his role as Lincoln.
He can't.
He's reprising his role as Lincoln.
He's retired.
In Lincoln Logs.
He's retired.
That's his final film.
He said the Phantom Thread is his... Anyway.
I'm fan casting my Lincoln Log movie, Brian. Make it happen. All right, so that has been the episode. Thank you all for listening. We're going to jump into our plugs. And, of course, we're going to start with this first thing. It is coming up, dropping the day that this episode drops. So we need to get this thing out here, and you guys need to show up, hopefully. That is August 28th, this Wednesday, Full Circle Book Co-op. That is the Sioux Falls Film Community Meetup. Join us. We're going to talk about movies. We're going to, share some beers. We're just going to figure out what we want to make a community out of for us film fans here in the Sioux Falls, South Dakota area. So if you're around Wednesday, August 28th, Full Circle, 8 o'clock, be there or be square.
Be square.
Is that still a thing? People still say that? I don't know. Anyway, let's jump to Andy Erickson's Backlot Box Office Report. You can check that out like every Wednesday, Thursday. On our, you can find it on our website. It'll be on there. You can check that out on backlot605.com. Also, check out some of our latest movie reviews that we got coming out, including Jameson Feifel's review of Dora and the Lost City of Gold.
Yes.
That he actually enjoyed, so definitely check that out. You can check out Blake Ginnethan's review of Incident in a Ghostland. This is the latest Shudder exclusive. Blake gave a review for that. Also check out my review coming soon of Ready or Not.
Ready or not, here I come.
Ready or Not, here it comes, our review. Yes, check that out very soon on backlot605.com. Also check out the latest episode of the Killer Countdown, where we count down the greatest films of the 1990s. So on that episode, Blake Ginnethan is joined by Andy from Fat Dude Digs Flicks to talk about their favorite horror films from the decade that is the 90s. Also, check our buddy Andy at Fat Dude Digs Flicks. He's on all the social media channels. He's on all the podcast channels. Pretty easy to find. We will be getting Andy on the show again at some point in the near future because we love having the Fat Dude here. You can use the hashtag Schmuck Club whenever you talk about us on social media. That'd be awesome because we're just a bunch of schmucks who like talking movies. You can check us out on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, TuneIn, YouTube. That's where you can find the podcast. You can also find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Follow us on backlot605.com. That's all our latest movie news, reviews, discussions. Anything Backlot 605 related is on that website, including our TeePublic store.
Yes.
Yes, you can find some cool t-shirts, some awesome stickers, just overall great products on that. I love that website. I buy stuff from other artists and other creators on that as well, and it's always great stuff that they send out. So
You are correct.
Yeah. On the last few things here, we got the Sioux Falls Film Community Group. Check that out on Facebook. Also, check out the South Dakota Film Actors on Facebook as well. And then next week, we have a fun episode I've been wanting to do for a long time.
And what would that be, my friend?
That is because It Chapter 2 is coming out, and that is based on the Stephen King novel It.
It is.
It is. And so we will be talking about our favorite Stephen King adaptations.
And keep going. Where else are we going to go with
What
this?
else are we going to do? We're going to have a special guest for that.
There you go.
Yes, that will be Brandon Lunsman. He will be returning. We had an awesome interview with him. He has a film coming out called Tales of an American Hood Rat, which will be debuting at the South Dakota Film Festival here in the next few weeks.
The same weekend as SuperCon.
Yeah, so like the 28th, 29th, that weekend of September. So check that out if you're in the Aberdeen area. And then next week he'll be on to talk about his favorite Stephen King movies. I think I know one of them from his list.
I'm glad that he's coming back on.
Yes, he will be awesome to have on a proper episode. I think he's excited to talk about Stephen King movies.
He said it's not Marvel movies, but he's right up. He's like, Stephen King, count me in.
Yes, so we can't talk about Marvel every week, but
we can.
Stephen King universe is about the same as the Marvel universe in a weird way.
In a weird way. Welcome to Deary.
Yes. So yeah, check that out next week. And yeah, Brian, do we have anything else we need to plug or talk about?
No.
I'm out of breath when I do that. I need to break those up every once in a while.
Maybe have me take up one. You get on this roll, and I'm just like, I'm just gonna sit back.
He's
here.
doing his thing. Let him finish it.
Yep.
If I say something, he'll mess it up. And
yep, exactly.
All right. Whew. Man, that takes a lot out of me every time. Brian, all right. What did you think of everything? I don't know. I'm trying to think of a way to sign off without just saying goodbye.
Go watch your really bad movies made out of toys,
or watch the good ones.
Or
few and far between, but they're there.
Watch Clue.
Yes, watch Clue and Ouija Origin of Evil.
Or at least Clue.
Yes, definitely Clue. All right, Brian. Until next time, thank you all for listening, and you can find us on the back lot of South Dakota.
Bye-bye now.